Hi everyone, so today's look is sort of a dark, vampy, black, bluey, smoldery eye, but it's still a little bit tame. One of my most watched tutorials on YouTube is probably my Gothic tutorial. Underneath of that, I was requested not too long ago if I could please infuse a goth look and a prep look together, which is very kind of like, I don't know how I'm gonna do that because they're two very, very different kind of worlds, peoples, and thoughts on life. So basically what I did was do a very dark smoky eye, but give it a certain wearability to it, and then I did it with a very sort of flushed, pretty springtime dewy flushed face. Underneath that, in that tutorial, I'm wearing a very darky, vampy lip, kind of took no prisoners and had a lot of winged eyeliner, so this is definitely more toned down. But in that video, I'm wearing a very dark, vampy purple lip. It's very creamy, so instead I've toned it down to like very glossy lavender lip, and I was using the Urban Decay black palette, which is a very, very overdone, very intense black smoky palette. So for this look, by infusing the goth and the prep together, I decided to take the Too Faced matte palette, which has a lot of wearable shades that are preppy, yet a lot of darker tones that are still very murky and have, you know, darker colors. So I kind of thought that that would be a little bit of fun, and of course I did like a dark gray purple cream nail. So anyways, I thought this was kind of cool and kind of infused those styles together. This might be a little bit of a long-winded video because I'm also sort of sharing my thoughts or preliminary thoughts before I do my review of the Sigma Mrs. Bunny full collection. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and I thank you for watching. So to get started with the eye look, if you have dry eyelids or a couple just natural folds in your eyelids like mine, a good eyeshadow base or primer, sorry, to stick on top of your eyelids would be the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, because it's silicone based and will allow the product to glide on and it doesn't sit in fine lines or dry patches. The only issue I have with this particular base is that I'm allergic to silicone, so I can only use it once in a while. Aside from that, I really like the primer. Now I'm going to be taking the Too Faced matte palette. I need to get a couple of these blog posted. It takes a lot of time when you have a palette full of eyeshadows to get posted. So I'm gonna get started with the look, and we're gonna start off with Chinchilla, which is just this really, really beautiful brown, and we're gonna start blending that out with the Sigma Mrs. Bunny line, and this is the E40. It's just a blender. So we're gonna pat this into Chinchilla, and we're just going to get started blending this out into the crease. And I'm just going to use rotation circles to blend this into the crease. You could hold the brush wherever you want. Some people like it further back, and this will give you less control, and some people like it further up for more control. If you have a problem with heavy-handedness, I would suggest putting your hand further back. So I'm just going to blend that out. And this is going to serve as a undergarment, if you will, for our eyeshadows. It's like a background color. Alright, so to get the deep crease, we're going to be taking some of Pebbles, which is just this really nice sort of light gray blue. It's got like a tint of green in it, even. It's really kind of unique. Reminds me of something I would see more at Mac Pro. And we're just using little rotation circles to start at the outer bit and blend that into the deep socket, which is just right below the actual main crease line or socket of the eye. This way we can insert some colors and definition, actual definition. Now you can use an eyeshadow base for the eyelid if you want. I'm just going to choose to do a little softer, even though it's a dark look. And I'm going to be picking up Midnight, which is this dark blue right here. And I'm picking up on the Sigma E55, which is a flat stiff blender. So we're going to be picking up some of that color, patting it into that a few times. And we're going to place Midnight all over the eyelid. We're just going to go for a really wearable, deep, smoldery look. I'm just using the front part of the brush, or putting my hands as close to the ferrule as I can. I'm not really comfortable going a whole lot closer because then you don't really let the brush do its job. But I'm just going to pat that on with my hand behind the pink ferrule, and I'm just going to let the brush do a little bit of its job, but I want the color to be a little potent. If you want less color, obviously you just hold the brush a little further back, and that'll just give you a lighter eyelid. Now you can go ahead and take whatever your favorite transition shade, color shade is, it's up to you. But I'm going to be taking the large shader brush from Sigma, and this is the E60. Looks like a large concealer or paddle brush, almost looks like a face brush. I could see this as a highlight brush as well. But I'm going to be taking Velveteen Bunny, which is just this bright matte white. So if you've had a bright matte white on your wish list to create some of these sort of more theatrical highlighted looks you see on YouTube more often, or on Beautylish, this one has a nice matte white. It's about as opaque as MAC Gesso, which I actually think is really, really nice, because sometimes when they're too white, it's very frosty. Not my favorite taste. I actually really like Gesso from MAC. This is a good dupe of that. So I'm just going to blend that over the socket line. And then we're going to place a little in the inner tear duct. It's just going to soften up this look. You could take a NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil under the brow bone if you want something just a little bit brighter, whiter. It depends. I'm going to be wearing this to work, so I want it to be dramatic, but I want it to have a certain seriousness to it, if you will. If you feel that the white and that brown is kind of like a far cry away from each other, I kind of agree with you on that one. So we're going to actually be taking this brush again. Once again, this is the E60, and I'm going to be going into Tuffed Suede, which is a kind of similar to Spotlight from Too Faced Natural at Night, if you're at all familiar with that newer palette. This one came out right before Natural at Night. We're just going to blend out where you see that brown and the white where they gap. So we're just going to transition it right there just to sort of soften that. Now I just took a little bit of Too Faced's Perfect Eyes Natural Eyeliner, and then I just smudged a little bit on my lower lash line, and I blended it out with the beveled edger. There's really a reason this pencil comes with a beveled edger. If you smudge out this pencil like too much too soon all along the lower lash line, you're definitely going to experience some bleeding, unfortunately, because this pen is just like so inky. It's almost like a liquid liner in a pencil. It's really intense. So once again, I just smudged a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to do this without looking because I accidentally did that other eye off camera. I'm going to blend that and smudge it under my lower lash line. My eyes are sensitive today. There we go. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Midnight that is in this palette again, and we're taking this up on the Sigma. This is the E65, and it's just an angled brush. You can take any angled brush. Obviously you don't need the bunny set to recreate the look. But I'm going to blend this out on the lower lash line. Once you've already touched the brush to the eye, make sure you only tap the corner of the product so you don't get any wetness in your eyeshadow. I'm just going to blend that out just so that the eyeliner stays and the eye gets a very good smudgy look to it. Now to really smudge this look out, I'm going to be taking a little bit of London Fog, which is just this brighter blue. I really don't think you need this palette to recreate the look. If you have something like a Wet n Wild matte palette, or even if you do have the Wet n Wild Comfort and Blue Had Me at Hello, you could recreate this. You'll just have some shimmer to it. And we're just going to blend that out in the outer corner just to add a very soft hint of color to it, and adding some smolder and definition. I think that really completes the eye overall. Now for the upper lash line, I'm going to be taking a little bit of Urban Decay 24/7 liner in 0, or sorry, Perversion. Zero is like their old mainstay black name color. I think it's kind of gonna be phased out with Perversion. I'm just going to blend that on the upper lash line. Now for eyelashes, I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Size Queen Mascara and the Hourglass Lash Lacquer in Kohl. This is actually a pretty winning combo in my book for my eyelashes, but everybody's different. These are just going to give me long lashes, depending on how much you add of this. Depends on how spiky your lashes are going to appear. I'm not going to add false lashes with this because it's really not the effect of the look the smolder is. That, I'm not a big fan of looking at black lashes with black eyeshadow. It's just sort of like a really odd contrast to me, so I'm just going to stick with mascara. Now for foundation, I'm going to be taking the Mary Kay Timewise in Ivory number 4. Almost out of this. And I've already applied my Arbonne face primer. There is going to be a review coming up on this as somebody who is huge into skincare and has had a lot of issues with skincare products and skin in general in the past. I like to give everything a fair try out before giving it a solid review, because there's kind of no point in giving anybody like a premature review on skincare and then they go out and buy it if it doesn't work for you. So I just like to be very precise with skin. So I'm going to be taking this Sigma foundation brush in F60. I typically go for a duo fiber flat stiff kind of more brush thing with a little bit more ease, not a paddle for the face, but this is actually nice. It does have a little bit of give, but it is still very sturdy and in the ferrule. So I'm going to be patting this on, going from the center of the face to the outside. Alright, now that I have you zoomed out, I'm going to be putting on a little bit of Urban Decay's Glide On Cheek Tint, and this is in Score, and it's just a really nice cruelty-free dupe of NARS Orgasm. I know if you love that color, you'll love this. If you hate that color, I still think you might like this because it's a little bit more pigmented. So I'm just going to blend this color on. But even everyone who says they hate Orgasm on themselves, I've noticed that I love it. So I think it's just one of those things. Not everybody likes the same things. So I'm just going to blend that out on my cheek. Now I'm going to be taking a little bit of the Pumpkin and Poppy Cosmetics Full Coverage Foundation from Veggie Beauty's little indie company, and this is in Cashew, and it's literally just a medium tan color. So if you're like a light medium tan, this is going to be a color that works for you. I'm going to take Sigma's Large Powder 530. But definitely if you're really unsure, she knows her color line very well, and she's actually really good at choosing colors. Even with skin tone variations, this color has actually been able to stick with me pretty good. I just use it as a setting powder because I'm a huge fan of liquid foundation directly on my skin for my skin type, and it's also about how I prep and prime my skin. I don't really wear a lot of primer, so I wear pretty much just it over the cheeks because of just a natural red flush I try to conceal when doing smoky eyes. So I'm just going to fluff that out all over. I like this brush. It doesn't pick up too much of the powder and it dispenses it evenly. That is really nice. The F30 is really amazing. It takes a little longer to dry, obviously, but it's a good brush. I really love this sort of soft glow of the face with the really dark eyes, so it's really up to you if you want to add bronzer. I'm going to go ahead and do that though, just for a little pinch of contour. And I'm going to go in with Beach Bunny's California in a compact. Just going to add some glamour to this look because I feel like I've kept it almost too safe. So I'm going to be taking the F40, just an angled brush. I know this has a lot more steps than what I'm usually putting into eye looks, but I'm just kind of also showing you how these Sigma brushes work and what parts of the face they're good for, and just so I can review them and tell you how I like them. I'm just going to stick this in the back of the contour. I don't like to pull it straight forward because I don't like that fishy face look. If you love it, power to you. It's a personal thing how I do my face. Most of my steps I show you when I put my skincare routine, my brow routine, it's about me. So if you like a certain look, that's great. think wear what makes you feel good. So I'm just going to blend that into the contour. I'm just going to be popping this on the apples. It's been forever since I've wanted to wear more pigmented blushes. I think it's sort of like a springtime thing for me. I really pay a lot of attention to the face. I like a lot of dew, a lot of glow, a lot of color on the face. Just get that kind of springtime excitement. Makes me happy. I know a lot of people commented on my blush in the past, but it's up to you if you want to do this. But I'm going to be adding the Amazonian Clay Blush, and this is in Tipsy. I'm going to be trying to do this a lot more tastefully than I've done in the past, though, and this is the Sigma, again, F40. I'm just going to be popping this on right in the center, right there. That's it. Probably because I know it's raining outside, but I want a little bit of gleam. This isn't going to show up too much, otherwise I'd probably be more precarious about applying this much gleam. But this is the Too Faced Candlelight. It literally is an invisible powder, but it's got a lot of gleam. I'm going to be applying this with the large F30. If you're somebody who hates matte finishes and feels you have dull skin, this is a really great powder. That way you can kind of spot on place it where you want, but it'll get a lot of like space and coverage taken care of, obviously, if you use a large brush. So it's a great product if you have dull skin. Now for lips, I'm going to be keeping it simple because we've done so much with the rest of the face. So I'm just going to add Too Faced Glamour Gloss and Peekaboo. I really love the formula of these a lot. I think they're great. I only have a few colors of these, so I just have so much lip gloss. I haven't seen the need to buy more lip gloss, so that's it. I'm just going to blot. It's just a nice sort of cool toned look with a very warm face. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.